Hey guys, welcome to today's Vehicle Visionary. Today we're going to take a look at the 2021 version of the Mercedes-Benz A220. And this is really a great entry-level Mercedes vehicle if it's something you're looking to get into without spending as much money as you might on some of the higher-end models. This particular model has quite a few nice features, a lot of AMG features. The AMG body styling kit, it has the AMG wheels, as you can see right here. Let me move around to the other side so the sun isn't obstructing your view. There we go. Hopefully that's a little bit better shot for you right there of those AMG wheels. And not only that, but you also have the AMG diamond block grille here on the front end. This isn't the Panamericana grille, but it is an AMG item. So it really gives this vehicle a very sporty look. Of course, I borrowed this from my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Shreveport here in Shreveport, Louisiana. And of course, I will list all of the items on the screen as far as the safety features go. All the interior information and all that good stuff. We'll open the hood up here and take a look at the 2-liter inline 4-cylinder. It's not an overly powerful engine, but that's a good thing. That's one reason the price is a little bit lower on this particular model. And of course, with it being a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, you can be guaranteed that the gas mileage is going to be really, really good. There are multiple driving modes available, and we'll look at how you can change a lot of different features on this vehicle depending on what your personal preferences are. And unlike some of the other models out there, you can customize certain areas to be performance-based while keeping others based on comfort. You do have a panoramic sunroof here. Let me see if I can give you a better view of that from the inside. I have the shade open for you so you can see that. And we'll open that up later on and take a better look at it when we get into the interior. And of course, as you can see right here, here's another nice feature for sportiness. It's the little rear spoiler on this model. It's actually kind of the perfect size in my opinion. The only thing I think I would want to do differently if it was me, and you could always wrap it, I guess, is make that black. Just for my personal opinion there. Not that that counts for a whole lot, but as you can see, you do have a reasonable amount of cargo space here in the trunk. We'll take a look at what you've got here under the floor. Now you do have a spare tire or a tire repair kit right there. Not a spare tire, but that is available if you need it. Hopefully you won't. A hook here in case the vehicle needs to be towed up onto a flatbed or pulled up onto a flatbed. And if you look here on this side, the right and the left side here, here's what those are for. You're going to pull those, and this is how you maximize your cargo space. If you want to fold down the 60-40 split rear seats, that is how you do it right there. Now I had the other seats too far back to let it go all the way back, but here's another nice little feature here. Nothing out of the ordinary, but if you wanted to, of course you have to get that seat belt out of the way there. There is a separate release here for the center seat. And the advantage to that is that it acts as a pass-through. So you don't have to necessarily lower the 60-40 split if you don't want to, depending on what your situation is. Let me get back here and close the trunk. And we'll move into the interior here in the back seat. Now, I've got this front seat way further back than it really needs to be, but there's a better view of the panoramic sunroof for you. And one thing about this, even with the seat as far back as it is, you know, my feet are kind of touching the seat there, but with the way the rear seats are built, this area right here, that's meant to give you more leg room. So I would have a lot of leg room, wouldn't be able to really, or not necessarily a lot of leg room to stretch out, but the seat's not touching my feet basically, but hopefully you don't have to deal with that. You do have dual air conditioning vents here, and you've got a USB port, just one right there. Let's see, nothing else to look at right there, but let's take a look at your cup holders. You just release those, kind of hidden away. and an arm rest. And we'll hop out, take a look here into the front seat. Now notice the interior. That is a very nice interior. I like the contrast between the colors. And of course, as you can see, you have the seat adjustments right here on the door, and I really like that. I like the fact that not only you have the seat adjustments here, this is for the passenger side. You have seat memory right here. You've got 3 different settings for 3 different passengers, and this is just on the passenger side. And if you want to extend this little area out on the front of the seat for additional leg support, maybe you're on a long trip, that can make a difference depending on what your situation is and how comfortable you want to be, or whatever the case may be. And I will say, this is a very sporty little model, and of course it has some upgrades and features that allow it to be more sporty than some of the other A220s that are available. Of course, everything you would expect here. You have power door locks, power windows, again, seat adjustments, and the seats are heated. Not cooled, but heated. Also a heated steering wheel. Little button right here for opening the trunk. You also have chrome door sills with the Mercedes-Benz on there right there, and sport pedals as well. So let's hop inside here real quick. Of course, everything to control your headlights and all that good stuff right here. Electric parking brake. I'm going to start this one real quick, start it up, and we'll just go ahead and open the sunroof up. Kind of get a glimpse at how that looks while it's open. You can see how far that opens up. Now, a lot of great technology here and a lot of functionality. Here on the steering wheel, of course, you have a steering wheel mounted controls. You can control the driver's dashboard right here with the little pad right there, and then control the touch screen, or the MBUX system right there, the MBUX screen right here. Of course, you've got your home and back buttons and all that kind of stuff. But let's start here with the dashboard. And I'll run through everything that you have, because you have a lot of features here. Assistance, phone, navigation, trip, if you want to use that, radio, media. We'll come back to designs in just a second, designs and display, and of course service. But let's hit designs and display, and you can go through, as you can see, you've got classic, sport, progressive, understated, and then your standard displays. So let's just take a look at a couple of these real quick and let you see what they look like. Depending on what you want to do, now you do have to go all the way back here to display and designs, or designs and display, if you want to change it again. Some models will let you do this without having to go all the way back like that. It just depends on what you want to do. But while we're right here, let me just show you one thing that you can do. When you select, notice how the right side or left side is selected right here. You can see the red circle around that. And so basically you can go through and change it to a lot of different settings, what you want it to look like or what you want to be able to see. And of course, you can do the same thing on the right hand side, as you can see right there. Now, before I get to the MBUX system here, how you basically have an interactive system, the Mercedes-Benz user experience. Of course, you've got your standard air conditioning vents here. A lot of very nice materials here. The entire interior looks very sporty, very racy. Now, this one does not have wireless charging, but if it did, the wireless charging pad would be right here. You do have a USB port and a 12-volt power outlet, cup holders. Of course, you have dual zone climate control, and you can sync those together if you want to. And when it comes to storage, here are the Bombay doors that we just opened up. You've got storage in here, kind of hard to see because it's so dark right now, but I've got quite a bit in there. And even though you can't really see it, there is a USB port right there. Just take my word for that. And as we work our way up, on the screen here, you have multiple options for using that. Of course, you can use, as I showed you earlier, the pad here on the right side of the steering wheel. You can also use the trackpad right here, and depending on what you want to do, you can just select by pushing down on that and going to the multiple features that are available, and there are plenty. Of course, you do have one-touch buttons right here. You can select your mode. It says dynamic right here if you want to change the driving mode. Like I said earlier, There are multiple driving modes available, and depending on what you want to do, you can just select that. And if you're wondering what this is for right here, it's basically you can rest your hand on that to help use the trackpad. Of course, you've got other features here, radio, map and navigation right there. This is for controlling the volume of the radio. You've got your phone right there. Everything pretty simple and self-explanatory. But here's the good news. If you haven't seen this yet on the MBUX system, it's also a touch screen. And of course, you have a lot of features here. Basically everything we saw on the dashboard right there. Phone, radio, media. You do have comfort right here if you want to go in and look at that. And seat kinetics, what is that? If you're not familiar, when you activate seat kinetics, what it's going to do is the seat is going to basically change position every few minutes when you're on a road trip or just any time really. It's basically just to keep your attention up, keep your energy level up. And you can change the brightness, which is going to be kind of hard to see right now because we're not inside, but you can change the brightness of your interior lighting right there. And then you do have 64 different colors to choose from. You can choose right here with the multiple colors. You can also go to welcome. A couple of different features right there depending on what you may want to do. Of course, you've got info. If you want to go in and look at that, it'll give you quite a few things, information on the engine. Kind of nice. It's kind of just an onboard system that tells you what's going on with your vehicle and gives you some really good information. And for me, I like that a lot, being that I used to be a race car driver. It reminds me of what's called a race pack. A lot of you may not know what that is. Basically an onboard computer on the race cars that I used to drive. And of course, then you have settings for your vehicle as well. And depending on what you want, of course, you got quick access, you have assistance, and here you have vehicle. Let's go back to assistance real quick. We'll get back there and I'll show you what's there. And you can control what's going on with the vehicle, whether it's active brake assist. We'll click on that just so you can see. You can change if you want to turn it off, if you want it to be early, medium, or late. And you might have to experiment with that a little bit just to see how it works for you. Attention assist, that's always a good thing for the driver. And of course, you can change how that works. Blind spot assist, basically all the same thing, depending on what you want to do with that. Vehicle, of course, you've got dynamic select right here. And what that allows you to do is individual configuration. Here's the neat thing about that. If you want to go and change the drive to sport mode, for example, you can leave that as sport mode, but what about the way the vehicle handles? If you want it to run well based on the engine, but ride well based on the suspension and shocks, you can leave that in comfort. So quite a few nice features there, a lot of individuality that you can set up in the vehicle. Of course, light, we really already looked at that, but you do have a multitude of settings that you go into right there for exterior, interior, your daytime running lights, and your locator lighting as well. And of course, system right here that allows you to change the display, the controls, quite a few things here, audio, all that good stuff, basically completely and totally individually available or capable of being just set up however you want it to be. So why don't we get out on the road and do a quick little test drive and see how this model handles. Okay guys, we're gonna get out on the road and see how the A220 handles. Now, this particular model does ride pretty well, but I do have the suspension, the shocks, ESP set to comfort. I haven't put it in sport mode yet to see how that works, but I can tell you, if you're looking for a good comfortable ride out of this vehicle, well, you're going to definitely leave it in comfort mode. But I just love the fact that you can go through these vehicles and select different features for different areas of the vehicle, as far as how it rides, how it drives, how it accelerates, all that stuff. And it doesn't have to all be set to its most aggressive setting. So we're going to cruise over these railroad tracks real quick, and I know you probably can't tell very well in the video itself how the vehicle is handling. We'll make sure this guy is going to turn. So we'll get out here and give it a little bit of an acceleration test. Now keep in mind, this isn't the fastest vehicle on the road, but that's okay. It's not really meant to be super fast. Now you can set this up in manual mode if you would like to, and you can take advantage of the shifter paddles here on the steering wheel. Now I have been driving around without the steering set to its most aggressive, to sport, most aggressive setting, but right now I do have it in sport. So it's gonna handle a lot better. But I can tell you that regardless of how you set the steering up, it's very enjoyable to drive. The steering is nice and responsive. It's going to respond to your touch without a problem, especially the way I have it set up right now. And as far as a road trip in this vehicle, even though I can't really say for sure because I haven't taken one, but I can tell you just from cruising along this road, if I was doing this for a long period of time, it would be very enjoyable and very easy to do. It wouldn't wear me out. And of course, as I said earlier, with the seat kinetics, that's an added advantage, an added bonus to help the driver to maintain concentration, to maintain focus, and to keep their energy level up. Just one of the nice features. And as I said earlier, I showed you on the screen, basically the screenshot from the dealership website of the price of this vehicle. And for what the price is and the options and the features and the amenities that you get, it's actually very impressive, especially something such as seat kinetics. And of course, there are just so many different features. Always remember, guys, when you watch my videos, I always make sure to leave a link to the dealership's website for the vehicle that I'm featuring in the video you're watching. Now, if you watch it after they've sold the vehicle, it might take you back to their inventory. So just so you know, if you go and click on that link and it's not taking you directly to the vehicle that I featured in the video, that's why. Handling is very good. Of course, with a little vehicle like this, a fairly short wheelbase, it's low to the ground. The center of gravity is very good on this car. It handles great, no matter what your settings are with the vehicle itself. With this A220, it handles really well. A little bit of body roll going through the corner there, but this is not a high performance vehicle, even though you can set it up to have some of the characteristics of a high performance vehicle, but that's not really the purpose here. But it sure has the looks and in a lot of ways the feels of a high performance vehicle, but also that of just a car that's going to be nice and comfortable, get you around town without a problem, have great gas mileage, and just be enjoyable to drive. A lot of great features, comfortable, a lot of luxuries. Of course, you got the panoramic sunroof, all that good stuff. So I'd like to thank my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Shreveport for loaning me this model for the day, and all of you for being kind enough to take the time to watch, and look forward to seeing you in my next video.